Successful people know how to control their emotions. Are we live? Gotta have a little fun, right? We are live. We are live. Happy wonderful day it is, la ta 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 to. And the red flashy thingy is on. I don't even know if you guys caught that. The red flashy thingy is on. That means we're live. So that means it's time to get to work, okay? Because this is a 10 to 15 minute combo that we're having with each other here. So let's get rocking. Yeah, so today is all about using our emotions. And if you're new here, thanks for coming. Leave a comment and let me know that you're here. Let me know who you are. I don't only see a number of people who attend, so I really don't know who you are. So unless you say hello or hi, or you make a comment, and then we can have a conversation while we're doing this too, which would be lovely. So if you're new here, we're talking about Internal Drive, my book, Unleash Your Internal Drive. Today is your daily drive, your daily internal drive. So we get into the experience, but first, we always talk about appreciation, and that's what I encourage you to do. So on that, really, I'm so appreciative of the appreciation that I'm getting. And I'm appreciative that people are using my guided appreciation morning and nightly guides. And I'll leave a link in that. Hey guys, what's going on? Thanks for hopping on. And I'm just so excited. Our YouTube channel is still growing. It's so cool to see the momentum that's picking up, and that you guys are experiencing it and seeing value. I could see all the watch hours going up and up every day, and people who are joining and using these tools and strategies to make a better life. And you're starting your day with appreciation. So some of my craziness is rubbing off on you too. So also, I want a huge shout out to all you guys who are having amazing breakthroughs. You're saying them publicly. We're talking privately. I'm getting tons of those little messages that pop up in all the different ways that you can message me. There's probably 10 different ways now, which is, my phone's always going off. Thank God there's a silent button. But shout out to you guys. Those who are using the Internal Drive course, the 12-week transformation course. You guys are just killing it. And it's so cool to be a part of your journey, because as you know, as I say all the time, I live through your experience. That's what's driving me. That's what's driving me to do this. So super appreciate you guys. So let's get into it. The Internal Drive experience. So we wrapped up Focus, and it took almost a week to do that because there was just so much content. And if you're new here, again, I'm going through piece by piece of the Internal Drive book so you guys can really get a strong understanding about the contents of this book, because it's so powerful, and each point has a meaning. Each point is something to live by. Each point is something that successful people have taught me, in my years of trying to become more and more emotionally strong, in addition to physically strong, in addition to being healthy. In each one of these things that I've been taught, and I've had a handful of mentors. One of them is Tony Robbins. There've been a ton of big names. I've experienced everything that he's got to experience, and he literally walked me through hot burning coals when I was a kid. I was like a 26-year-old kid. It was on my birthday, and these kind of experiences, when you have mentors that teach you stuff, right, and then you link it to your purpose, and you link it to like mine was always, I started off as a personal trainer, and I still do it. But the cool thing is I'm able to link this to help people to get unstuck, and that's why it's so awesome, so powerful. So I absolutely I love it. So we got into the Focus very specifically last week, which it was just it deserved it, and you deserved it, But now we're moving into the emotions. Okay, so we've got an emotion checklist. For those of you who know me, it's all principle based. Success loves speed, and it also loves structure, I think, right? Because if you use the way, is that another shirt? Did I just make another shirt, man? Because that was a good one. How did that go? Success loves speed, and success loves structure. But it's true. It's true. Everything that I've ever done that's been successful, there was a pattern behind it, and you just duplicate the pattern. So kind of went on a tangent there about checklists, but make sure you're drinking your water. So let's get into the emotions checklist, because this is still foundational. right? We haven't gotten to the powers yet. This is just the foundational stuff to make sure that you're starting your journey. You're continuing your journey with this repetition, right? Speed and structure. So let's get into the emotions checklist. So our emotions, right? This one we're going to talk a little bit more towards the end today, but your emotions equal your decisions, right? And then your decisions will equal your actions, right? And then what? What follows that? Some of you guys already know. Your patterns, right? Your actions will then distinguish what your patterns are going to be, consciously and subconsciously. More deep, really, is your subconscious mind running things, while you're the pilot, while the conscious mind is the pilot, right? And the last piece of that equals where the results of your life come from. Okay, so in short form, emotions equal your decisions, equals your actions, equals your patterns, equal your results. Next piece is successful people know how to control their emotions. All of us do, so we're going to be deep diving that with just pieces today, but we're going to be deep diving into that later on. The next one is acknowledge the emotion as a notification for action. This is something that I'm constantly repeating because I don't want people to get me the wrong way. Like our emotions are there for a reason. So we get into that. Next piece, number 4 of 5, create an environment where less disempowering emotions can be present. Right? Think about that one. That's a powerful tool. We'll talk about that in the days to come. Lastly, practice empowering emotion inducing strategies. Right? So that's a really good one. It's one of my favorites. We're going to be talking about that in the days to come too. Okay, so, we talk so much about our focus, but, and that does include, if you guys remember, that included a bit of it, our emotions piece too, right? But a lot of this content, they kind of start flowing together, so I really want to make sure that I'm driving home the points that make the difference. All right, so let's dive into that. Let's dive into, when disempowering emotions present themselves, okay? You've got the tools and the strategies to control how you feel, right? And still use these emotions for purpose, right? Because that's why they were given to us. You've heard me say it before, and repetition's mother's skill. I believe our emotions are there to serve us. Our emotions are there to not hurt us, Yes, they can be painful. Most disempowering ones are. But that's the world's way. That's our creator's way. That's our universe. Whatever you believe, is somebody tapping you on the shoulder, right? Somebody tapping you on the shoulder saying, man, what you're doing or what you're viewing needs to change, right? We talked about that, right? Don't avoid them. Don't get me wrong. Do not avoid disempowering or pain. Allow it to serve you. And even when it's hard, we're going through some hard times, this world, last couple of years. All of us, our world has changed drastically. I don't know anybody that hasn't in some way, and usually a negative one. I don't know anybody that didn't lose something last year, right? But we can appreciate that. We can appreciate what evolution was going on with us and in our world. Okay, so please don't get me wrong, don't avoid these kind of things. Don't avoid them. Let them serve you. Okay? Then you can drop them. Right? Once they've served you and you've got the empowering meaning behind them, then you can drop the darn thing. And you could become a goofball like me or whoever you are, I like to be a goofball at times as much as I possibly can because I like being in that state. I had a really good friend years ago that was a famous comedian who was a client, and it was so cool to be a part of his journey, and it really rubbed off on me. And the beauty behind that was that it was actually already inside, but I learned that it was shunted when I was a kid. And that's just me, but I allow that. I allow it, and if somebody doesn't like it, well, that's on you, right? For years, my father didn't like it. Oh, you got to act a certain way, and you got to be a certain way, and you have to make me look good all the time and behave, and blah, blah, blah. Like, oh, man, glad I'm out of that prison, But people are stuck, People are stuck, and that's the point behind this, right? People are stuck. And what do? They overeat. Sedative. They give themselves a sedative, right? People go to something that's going to make them feel good real quick. Most often food. That's why a lot of my clients are overweight, and it could be the other way too. Some people just stop eating. Somebody reached out to me literally today. He said, man, I stopped eating, man, and I know it's not healthy. I passed out and, things are really bad. Can you help me out? So people go to drugs or alcohol or smoking, like that's the real deal, because they allow themselves so often, not saying this is you, but if this is you, pay attention. So often people get stuck there, and they stay there, and you don't have to. You don't have to. When you feel that emotion, that disempowering, negative, sadness, whatever that is, if you stay there, that's where depression comes in. But you've got a choice. You've got a choice, and sometimes it's not an easy one, especially if this is you and you've been staying there for so long. And where does it start? Where does it start? I believe when you wake up and when you go to bed. And that's why I believe so much. And it's not just me that believes so much in the guided visualizations in the morning and afternoons, and the guided appreciations in the morning and afternoons. These studies have been going on for years. Jack Canfield, there's not a week that goes by that I see him advertising one of his versions of it, And he influenced me years ago. 12 years ago, something like that, 15 years ago, I started studying Jack Canfield. This stuff is around. This isn't just Bill Yeager saying this stuff. This is real, and you do have control over your emotions. Don't tell me you don't. And you might be feeling stuck because you just don't know how. And the how is practice. The how starts with your morning and guided. I'll link those in here too, guys, because I believe so much in it. And you do have the control. You do have the control to turn that emotion on itself and say, you know what? This served me. I allowed it to serve me. Yes, it was difficult, but now I'm going to create an empowering meaning to it. I'm going to turn it on itself, even if you got to sleep on it next day, boom, you pop on your appreciation exercises and boom, you get to change everything, Really, you've got that power. And that's something that I see people experience all the time. And yeah, it takes a little practice, right? The purpose of these mental strength sections in this book are to give you these tools and these strategies to put into practice. Like I said, because we haven't even gotten to the powers yet, but this foundational stuff is real, right? Like these strategies can make a huge, huge difference in the results of your life. And why? Just like I said before, that was the point of this. Emotions equal your decisions, equal your actions, and your patterns, right? And ultimately, where the results of your life come from. The cool thing is now you do have the control, okay? And I'm not going to sit here and pretend that it's not hard because I've been there. I know what it feels like to start a business at 22, 23 years old, and that phone rings. And because I have so much anxiety, I got a potential new client. And I sit there and I'm watching the phone ring and I don't pick it up because I'm scared. I'm scared of it. And I was just running these patterns in my head. It started from when my dad was yelling at me when I was a kid. I remember that first day. It takes practice, guys. I get it. I get it. I know firsthand. And you may fail, and that's okay. But think about what you're saying to yourself. Think about the questions that you're asking yourself and the meanings that you're attaching to things. And when you turn them to be empowering ones, your entire life will change. Not overnight. Not overnight. Incrementally, it will. That I know for sure. Not only with my own experience, but with the hundreds of people that I've had the gift of serving and watching them grow. And watching you guys grow too. It's been awesome. So I'll leave you with this. We are about to close, and we kept it at 15 minutes. Yeah, I love you guys. You're freaking awesome. I love you all hopping on. I'll respond to the comments. You guys are cranking. I love the energy. Super cool. So I'll leave you with this. The results of your life are your responsibility, guys. And it all starts with how you feel. And you've got that choice. Choose wisely. Love you guys. See you next one. Bye.
Hey, thanks for watching the full video. You made a great choice and empowered yourself some more today. If you'd like more, click the videos right here. They're exactly what you need to see next. And if you're new here, hit subscribe and become a part of the Empower community, and tell me what you think about the videos in the comments below. I read all of them and respond daily. Make a comment.